All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. Time to talk about the Galaxy S25 Edge. And I've been using this now for almost 2 weeks, and I'm here to report some things to you. Maybe some dislikes and likes, but overall the likes definitely outweigh the dislikes. If any, if I have any. I think I just one, and I think I've talked about in the other video, but let's get into this follow up here on the Galaxy S25 Edge. So the Edge, obviously, the focus is the hardware and how thin it is. And it's impressive, folks. I think I have the other Galaxy devices. I have the S25 Plus. I'm recording with the Galaxy S25 Edge. I have the Z Fold, the Z Flip. I have a lot of Samsung products that I've purchased. And this one is impressive. The hardware is the main focus of this device. When people see it, they say, whoa, if they notice it. A lot of people have noticed it more from the rear, like this is a different camera setup. So they instantly, I don't think they think it's a Samsung phone because it's a dual camera setup here. It's got like this raised level here popping out for the back camera, but this is actually a beautiful looking device. I like this camera design much better than the previous gen with the 3 holes or where it's not raised up. It just looks a little different. They've given it some color on here. It's a little sleek touches there that I think make this phone really, really nice. So yeah, the hardware, how thin it is, that is extremely impressive. And I think you're going to be shocked when you hold this. You would think it would be a little uncomfortable to hold because of how thin and how sharp the edges are. And to a certain extent, yes, you're right. This is not like my other devices. Like the OnePlus 13 to me is one of the best feeling phones in the game right now. It has the sloping curved back on it, so on the edges, so it's not as sharp. Now this isn't as sharp as the other Samsung devices I have, like the S25 Plus and the one I'm recording with, so the Ultra. So it's not sharp like that, but it's sharp enough to where if you're holding it for an extended period of time, you could say, wow, this is a little fatiguing, possibly. But a case can solve that. That's not really an issue. But overall, that would be probably one of the main dislikes I have for this. And I solved it with a case. I just bought the official Samsung case, and I've been using that. But I recently switched over to trying out a clear case because there's not very many case options for the phone right now. And I'll be bringing you some more content. I do have some shipments on the way. But as you know, anyway, I'm not really a case person anyway. So using it like this is perfectly fine to me. A lot of people say, oh, you're going to drop it. Aren't you afraid you're going to drop it? If it happens, it happens. I just like to feel the actual product itself. So almost 2 weeks with this product here, the hardware is impressive. I mean, and I've got other thin phones. I've got phones that are thinner than this, but this just combination of a slab phone like this is really good. So another area where I think is probably going to impress a lot of people is the screen. Now, the screen on this thing, I got to tell you, it is more than impressive. It's a Samsung screen, so you're gonna get what you think you're gonna get. So Samsung is known for having these beautiful displays, and this display coming in at the same size, obviously, as the S25 Plus. For some people, this is a sweet spot. This is where a phone should be. Now, personally, my favorite angle of a sweet spot for a phone is going to be about 6.0 to 6.3, no more than 6.3. I think 6.3, because I'm speaking more in lines of can go anywhere in any pocket. Now 6.7, this thin, feels different than 6.7 on a bigger, thicker device. So it's doing this because I'm on network here and it's not wanting to buffer too well. But anyway, the display itself is a Samsung display. It's a Samsung display. So 6.7 inches, just beautifully, perfectly aligned here. Some people talk about bezels and stuff like that. I don't really even care too much about that to a certain extent, but this is, in fact, to me, equally portioned, and it is almost flawless. Almost flawless, man. At some point, companies will need to figure out a way to get the under display camera really strong, because right now, Samsung's cameras they're top notch. They're phenomenal cameras. No one can deny this. I've pitted this phone against several other phones when it comes to the cameras, just any of the Samsung phones. And the Samsung camera has the better options. So transitioning from there to there, yeah, this is where it's at. So you've got a 50 megapixel and a 200 megapixel. And I've already shown you lots of 200 megapixel shots when I did the camera review of this phone. So some people would argue that, Samsung should have put on a telephoto lens. But personally, after using this, I just don't see the need for a telephoto lens. I've always spoken of the ultra wide being more useful than the telephoto lens, especially if you want to vlog or get certain angles. The ultra wide is just going to come in better. And if you record content on this beautiful set of cameras here and play it back on this beautiful screen, you've got a winning combination. So the hardware, to me, is top tier. I didn't think that, obviously, like I said, I've used thin phones before, but coming from Samsung, that's something new that they're trying. And I like this direction of what they're doing here. Beautiful display, cameras, speakers on here they're good. They're nothing like, oh my gosh, I'm blown away, but they're also not meh. They're actually really good. But what cell phone doesn't have good speakers? You know what I mean? So it's nothing that's going to make you say, man, you got to get that Edge because those speakers are, no, it's not like that. It's just, you're going to be able to enjoy beautiful content on this phone regardless, because that combination of speaker, screen, and if you record with it, even better. The microphones on this are really good too, by the way, because I've done a lot of content on my car channel with this phone, and it's just top tier. It's top tier. So an area where I thought people, I didn't think, people thought that the phone would fail is battery. Now, in my experience, this phone lasts me 2 days. The battery is killer. Like, it doesn't matter that they didn't take on the new technology from OnePlus yet, that OnePlus is using right now and some other OEMs, where you can have bigger batteries in thinner phones, and the battery life is great. So this 3,900 milliamp hour battery inside of here definitely lasts me for roughly 2 days. It's impressive, man. I mean, you wouldn't think that this would be the case, but I gotta say, there shouldn't be a lot of reports of people saying this is a horrible battery. I'm actually using it day to day, and it is great. Now, an area when we're speaking about battery that might not be the strong suit, I have a 120 watt charger that I use, so I'm getting all that the phone can offer. So I think this one charges at 30 watts or something like that, but it's actually still charging fairly fast. The wireless charging works. There's cases now where you can have the little MagSafe area on the back where you can charge. It'll be really slow for that, but I do have those incoming, so I don't think it's going to be as fast as just plugging it in. That's what I enjoy more. Just plug it in and just let it sit. I also don't use my phones while they're charging, and I turn it off sometimes, or just at least power the screen off and face it down. And I just ignore the notifications as they come in because it's charging. I just let it charge to 100. So I've let this phone dip all the way down to like 15% or less and charge it up. And you get a lot of fast charge at that first initial boost. It'll get it back up to 80 really fast. And then it'll kind of start to teeter off, and just to make sure it doesn't get too hot and things like that. So battery life is absolutely impressive. Performance is absolutely great, man. Like, this is Samsung's software. So all Samsung phones get the good software. So with this one running the latest software, you're getting what they have to offer. You're getting every bit of Samsung, what they have to offer. And I think that's great. I didn't think twice that this phone would run bad or anything like that. It's got the Samsung Elite, Snapdragon 8 Elite for Samsung, for Galaxy, it shows. So basically this means they're kind of tweaking it a little bit better for Galaxy phones. And I'm glad that they're doing that, because this is a lot of software baked into this phone. So you're going to need the RAM and the capability to push it with the processor. So you're going to need a combination of RAM and really good optimized software. And also that helps that with that 3,900 milliamp battery, it's getting a lot of help from that combination, which is why it's lasting longer for me. Now, again, real quick on battery. Battery depends on you folks. I'm telling you that I can make it 2 days. You might get this and say, well, I only made it a day, or I only made it a day and a half, or I made it 3 days. It just depends on what you're doing with your phone and how you're using it. Now, as far as performance and processing speed and all that, I don't see that this is something spectacular, but it's also not bad. It's not doing anything that any of the other Samsung phones can't do per se. It's just that it's running smooth. And I expect that for a phone that's still new like this. Now, I review phones for long extended periods of time. I use them and I'll come back a year later with it or 6 months later with it. And if it's really good, you'll see it forever, you know? So with this phone right here being such a thin phone, I just think that becomes the attention getter. But when you get down to it, it's performing phenomenal on battery. It has great cameras. The screen is beautiful. The hardware obviously is top notch. It's just the software is great. The combination there is put together well. And the fact that they're doing this, some people are saying, well, it's not priced right. So let's talk about price. Right now, you can get the phone for $1,000 for the 512 gigs. So when a phone comes out, and then if you trade something in, you get it for even less. We all know that Samsung tends to have the best trade-in deals, but lately they've been kind of slacking on that. But with this phone, if you have a Galaxy S24 Plus, they're giving $500 for that phone. And I think that's a good deal if you really want to get this phone, because then you can get this phone for $500 with the 512 gig upgrade. So I just feel like when it comes to quote unquote upgrading, you determine whether you think it's an upgrade or not. You can only look at people like myself who buys a whole bunch of phones and stuff and reviews them, because I'm going to have a different outlook on it. I'm going to tell you that, you know, for the money, I think, yeah, I want phones to be under $1,000. We all do. But when a company brings something that they're saying is new, they're going to try to price it in a right where they think it's going to sell. And I said it in another video, and I'll say it again in this video. I know why Samsung didn't release this phone with the other phones. People would not have purchased the Galaxy S25 Plus or the Galaxy S25 over this, and possibly the Ultra, possibly. This is just a sweet spot. This is a beautiful phone, and it performs identical to the others. You see what I'm saying? So you get, to me, better looking hardware. You get that 200 megapixel camera on this, like the Edge, the Plus and the regular 25. They don't have that. So you're pretty much getting the banging camera system on here and this beautiful body with the same killer software, great battery life turns out, and just all around great performance. So, you know, would you buy the other ones over this just because the battery sizes are bigger, or like it's really just the Plus is what people are comparing it to, because that's what I compared it to. So would you buy the Plus over this just because it has a bigger battery? Because ultimately I'm now getting the same type of performance and battery from both. You know what I mean? So I like this better. And before I got the phone, you know, I made videos like, is it too late? And why are they making this? But until you get your hands on it, man, you just don't know. So I try not to be too critical of phones before I get them. And this right here turned out to shock me, because I too was worried. I was worried about the battery because I was like, this is some beautiful hardware. But we'll see how this turns out down the line. Because remember, right now, this phone is brand new. And so, you know, it's still in its upswing. It's still got all of its youth. We'll see how it does long term. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed almost 2 weeks with this beautiful piece of hardware here. And I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what color you have. I'm sure you got the 512 gig option. Why would you get anything less when they're the same price? That's just me. But if you did, I understand, respect. But what color did you get? And what memory option did you get? And where did you get it from? Did you get it unlocked like this, or did you go to your carrier? What are there good carrier deals? Let me know. Let's hear it. I'll see you in the comment section, folks. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.